what's up everyone? GameDad here, coming at you guys with a brand new collection series, this time showcasing everything that is currently in my PS2 collection. So, come with me as we check out part 1 of this new series. Alright, so up first we have ATV Offroad Fury, released by Rainbow Studios in 2001, and this is a really fun kind of game. It gives you that quote-unquote open world kind of feeling, but with ATVs or quads. You get to go around, you can find things that would allow you to do jumps and tricks and stuff like that. I mean, the whole trick base that they give you, or the library of tricks, it isn't that extensive, but it was still pretty fun to go through and jam out on a quad. I really enjoyed playing this game, actually. Now here we have ATV Offroad Fury 2, also released by Rainbow Studios, but in 2002. This one, I feel like the graphics, they became a lot sharper, so that was nice, and they definitely increased the library of tricks. Now, I will say in this game, though, I feel like the controls got a lot more stiff. I mean, they added the ability to do various things, and everything was a little more sensitive as far as trick combinations, but turning and just basic ATV controls felt a lot more stiff to me. Now here we have Backyard Sports Basketball 2007, released by GameBrains in 2007, and I really like the Backyard Sports games because they don't make it so serious. It keeps it really light. It keeps it fun. As you can see, it's more like cartoony, comical style graphics. And they just made these games feel a little more over the top instead of being, strictly, oh, this is an NBA game or this is a football game. It made it more fun and more enjoyable to play for somebody like me who doesn't really care about sports games. Now here's one of my favorite PS2 games, that is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, released by Snowblind Studios in 2001, and the graphics in this game were excellent for the time, and I think they hold up fairly well today. I mean, it's, everything is very polygonal still, but this game, it was so revolutionary because it was basically you took Dungeons and Dragons and made it into a video game. It was awesome. It has all the RPG elements that you could want. It has all the different townsfolk that you can talk to, and you just go on this grand adventure, and this game is just a ton of fun. Now here is BloodRayne 2, released by Terminal Reality in 2004, and I was never a huge fan of the BloodRayne games, but I mean, they were definitely popular. It even spawned a movie. I don't remember if it got a sequel, but I do remember when the first BloodRayne movie came out, and I mean, the whole kind of premise behind it kind of feels like Blade, but more in older Nazi Germany kind of times. That's just the vibe that I get from it. And I mean, you just go around, you're a vampire, and you're just taking out vengeance on your enemies. Very hack and slash, but I mean, it's an alright game. Now here is Burnout Revenge, released by Criterion Games in 2005, and this is a racer run into everything kind of game. I mean, as you can see, it says slam traffic to score. So, I mean, this game is kind of over the top speed. You can see they kind of add that blur effect to the screen, and you just got to go through in this particular mode and just smash everything in your way. And I mean, it's fun. The controls weren't too stiff, but they also weren't so loose that you're flying all over the screen. But overall, it was a really fun game to jam out on. Now here is Cake Mania Baker's Challenge, released by Sandlot Games in 2006. Now games like this, a lot of the time were either just PC-based games, or they had them on things I think it was original, they had original iOS games for it, but then it was also something that was on consoles like the Nintendo DS, because you could use touch controls for it. As you can see, the graphics are beyond basic, especially for PS2 era. You think maybe they could have added some 3D to it, but overall, I mean, it's super simple. These type of games got really popular for a while, and yeah, I mean, it's all right. Now here is Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1, released by Activision in 2005, and unfortunately my game was just a little bit too scratched to get it to play consistently when I was capturing footage, but I mean, this is actually one of my more favorite Call of Duty games. I mean, yeah, it's old compared to different games of this type of genre now, but this was one of those groundbreaking military style games, and it was a ton of fun. But I got to get that disc resurfaced, that way I can actually play it again. Here we have the Capcom Classics Collection, released by Capcom in 2005. And this is just a collection of various popular games that Capcom has released over the years. You know, just like every other kind of compilation or collection that comes out from time to time. I mean, they had some fun games on here. I went ahead and popped into a couple of the different ones, but there wasn't really anything earth-shattering about the games that were in here. I would have expected there would be a lot more, you know, Street Fighter games, things like that, but there really wasn't. I like their more modern collections instead because you actually get a lot more out of it. Next up is Capcom versus SNK 2, released by Capcom in 2001, and this is where you get a classic, you know, clash of the titans with different games. So you get your SNK fighters, you get your Street Fighter, you get all of the different characters from either game, and it gives you that cool, like, I wouldn't say comic book art style, but definitely more of that hand-drawn cartoon feel to it. Still throwing in that like little bit of PS2 3D background in there, but super fun game. I really enjoyed playing this. All right, now here we have Cars, released by Rainbow Studios in 2006. And with this game, I mean, the overall controls, they're pretty good. Sometimes they can get a little sticky on the turning, but overall, they really weren't bad. And the graphics, I feel like they really match the overall like style of the actual movie Cars. So that was kind of nice to see that translation go directly from the screen to a game. And I mean, it was, you know, just a classic racing game and just in the theme of Cars. You got all the different characters, Lightning McQueen and all them. And yeah, it was just fun to play. Now here we have Cars Mater National Championship, released by Rainbow Studios in 2007, and this one I found to be actually a lot more fun than the regular Cars game. The controls were a little bit, they were not tighter in the sense that it was stiff controls, but tighter in the sense that they were a lot easier to use. Now the graphics, I mean, I don't see any kind of an upgrade whatsoever compared to the base Cars game, but I did like the change in environments. The other one felt a lot more, you know, like indie track kind of based, and this one really felt like it actually hit home with the movie itself a lot more. Now here we have Castlevania, Lament of Innocence, released by Konami in 2003, and the very first thing that I noticed about this game is that it is just dark. I mean, I tried finding like some brightness settings, things like that, and man, the game is just so hard to see anything. I don't know if it's because I was capturing it through the Elgato and if that changed it in any way, but I found this game just really hard to see anything, which made it not that fun to play, honestly. I'm not sure if this game has, you know, a really good story to it. I haven't actually played through the entire thing, but I really wasn't impressed with this little bit that I played. Now here is Commandos 2, Men of Courage, released by Pyro Studios in 2002, and this game had kind of like, I don't know, kind of like an RTS, like XCOM kind of feel to it. It isn't really grid-based or anything like XCOM, but it definitely had that feel. You know, you pick your character or like one of your characters on screen, send them to go do a task, and then you just move forward from there. The controls, though, I found the controls to be very difficult to like get a handle on. And as you can see, like I clearly have no idea what I'm doing in this gameplay footage. Here is Conflict Desert Storm, released by Pivotal Games in 2002, and this was from that era whenever everyone was releasing some sort of military game. I mean, you had the SOCOM games, you had the Call of Duty games, you have the Medal of Honor games, and then here's this one. And I mean, the graphics, they're okay. They don't really hold up now, but I mean, for the time, they weren't that bad. The controls were pretty smooth. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just another military-style game. Nothing crazy. Up next, we have Contra, Shattered Soldier, released by Konami in 2002. Now, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Contra franchise. I really like the original Contra on NES. I like Alien Wars on the SNES. But this one, I mean, they went 3D or whatever with it because, you know, PS2 graphics. But overall, I was not impressed with this. The controls were just not intuitive at all, and in a Contra game, that's what you expect. You expect to just be able to run, jump, and shoot. And this one, they tried to get fancy with a couple other things, and I don't think it works very well. Now here we have Corvette, released by Global Star Software in 2004, and this game is for anyone that just loves Corvettes. They have every version of a Corvette that you could think of, and you just go through and just rock out in a nice driving game. Now, I will say the graphics, they're pretty decent in this, but the controls, oh man, the controls are just not pleasant to deal with. At times it's too tight and you're not turning hard enough, and other times it's like you just hit an ice slick and your car just veers straight off the road. So there really wasn't any consistency to the control scheme. Now, the last game in this video is Crash Nitro Kart, released by Vicarious Visions in 2003. And this one is fun, but honestly, I think I like CTR, Crash Team Racing, better. I mean, this is essentially the same kind of game, just with a graphics update. I mean, they changed a few mechanics around, and I mean, the game is fun, but yeah, I think I would definitely say I prefer CTR over this one. That one was definitely like a Mario Kart kind of contender. So there you have it, everyone. That is everything that is currently in part 1 of my PS2 collection. Now be sure to check back next week as we come out with part 2, and I show you guys some more games and gameplay footage from another part of the collection. Now, if you like this video, please let me know down in the comments below, and also don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and that notification bell, that way you get an alert every time I got a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.